Well, good morning.
12 hours, 46 minutes. Coordinated Universal Time.
Yeah. Good morning. Welcome to the Mad Lab here. So, we've got the HP 3336 fixed up here. And now I'm going to do a little, kind of, for lack of a better word, a little performance testing. Let me know how it's doing here. I could go down and get out one of my freak counters and blah 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 blah, but this is a lot more fun. With a minimal amount of equipment, aka being a couple pieces of wire and a shortwave receiver, you can have a pretty high level of precision in your home shop, and you can also kick your camera if you want. What I've done here is I've got out the FRG7 and tuned it to WWV on 10 megahertz. Since WWV is one of the super high precision radio sources, it makes a pretty good reference. And what we're going to do is compare the HP to WWV. And I'm going to do that by what's called zero beating. What zero beating is comparing two signals. Basically, you mix them ahead of the receiver, and then the receiver picks them up. And if the frequencies become more and more aligned or more alike, you have what's called constructive and destructive addition or subtraction. Due to the miracle of math, the sine waves on the two add or subtract from each other and either create kind of a taller carrier wave, or the two null each other out, and the closer they are, the more nulled they are. And when they're not quite on frequency, you can hear this pronounced kind of beating going back and forth. The closer you get to the two being aligned, the less pronounced that beating is, and the more it becomes zeroed or zero beating. So to do this, you really need a good strong signal from WWV. It also helps if you adjust the signal coupled into the radio. Now on the HP I can do that with the attenuator here. All I've done, which you can't see, sorry, I've got the lights out here, it makes the little room a little quieter here for RF. I've taken a wire out the front here and just whipped it around the back and coupled it into the antenna with just a clip lead. So here we'll make it so you can hear the zero beat. So there's the high side. We're above the WWV signal.
At the tone, 12 hours, 49 minutes.
There we're below it.
Universal Time.
So as you get closer, the tone drops. It'll get to the point where you can actually hear it as a kind of a fluttering noise. And you can actually see it in the signal level meter. If I can get it to focus. Hear that fluttering noise? And move the...
At the tone, 12 hours, 50 minutes. Coordinated Universal Time.
There you can see the two waveforms slowing down and becoming more alike. Ooh, that was a good one. There you can see them notching each other out. So right about there, we've got the signal generator about the same frequency as WWV, which is 10 and 72.479 hertz. So it's off by about 72.5 hertz. Well, what does all that do for you? Well, that tells you how far your frequency generator potentially is off. There is an internal crystal oscillator on there, and as the thing warms up, it may stabilize. I've let this run about 24 hours now, both pieces of equipment, and it seems to be kind of keep coming back to about 72 hertz. There's a couple ways you can become more accurate. You can adjust the internal oscillator, which could take some time. You could make an adjustment, probably do this test over again, wait 24 hours. Or you could reference this machine. This machine has a jack on the back where that oscillator gets kicked out of gear and is referenced. I have the luxury here of having one of the Thunderbolt disciplined oscillators. These come out of a cell tower site, and what it does is it receives GPS signals. Since every GPS satellite has 2 atomic clocks on it, it uses those signals from the atomic clocks to discipline a 10 megahertz internal oscillator. It's probably just about the precision of WWV down in my basement. I don't know. I just did it because I could, and it was cheap enough. But what's nice about that is I take that disciplined signal, distribute it to my other pieces of HP equipment, and then I don't have to worry about calibrations too much. The other thing you could do is just take note of this, how far it is off, and just kind of mentally adjust it. It really, in the scheme of things, isn't very far off, probably for shortwave radio work, which is what I intend to use this for. When you last seen this, I probably showed it to you, it had a broke knob, or a broke control. I'll be back. This control here is the modifier knob. Basically you turn it on and then just on, and then you move it around, which it highlights, and then you adjust the knob. When you saw this last, this function didn't work. How that got fixed is I replaced this cool hip little shaft encoder out of another HP. We'll have a little fun and go exploring on this and find out why this is broke. This was built in the 80s, 84 to be exact, May of 84. So there you go, there's kind of how zero beating works and what you might do with your HP, but we'll find other things to do with it. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Take it easy, have a groovy day.
At the 12 hours, 55 minutes.